Don't worry about it. It's not gonna be in
I need to get on this ball.
there.
Everybody gonna be calling that joke.
Hell yeah. Oh man. Welcome to the second edition of the UDK Warroom, where we introduce ideas and topics that we're going to talk about during the show. Good to see y'all once again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got a lot of positive feedback from the last show, some critical feedback, positive feedback as well, and we appreciate it. Keep it coming. So start off real quick. We're going to go through the introductions, then we're going to get to the topic at hand. First up, to my left,
Hex.
to my right,
Middle.
in the middle,
That's Herb Mizzle.
Herb.
Man, I ain't gonna say what you said you're supposed to be doing, but okay.
Oh, it changed. It changed.
Yeah. Not with us, JR. Feeling a little bit under the weather. Please feel better. Prayers up to him. Hit him up after the show. Make sure that he's good. But we're gonna try to get through this with 4 options on the Voltron instead of the usual 5. So we'll see if we can get through it. First up, Hex. Are there any articles, issues, trends, topics that stood out to you this week that you would like to talk about?
Man, right off top, as I added it to the Discord, the notion that they have allowed Michael Guest for Kevin McCarthy to appoint Michael Guest, the biggest Trump supporter, election denier, to now be the head of the ethics committee, is frightening. It's frightening because we're looking at a situation where somebody is telling us up front they would pull another coup. Yet I'm in charge of ethics. And then the flip side of that is, on the ethics committee along with this guy is Marjorie Taylor Greene. So for me, I just said, man, you know, what have we become, bro? Like, I know so people, you know, so many people are not engaged, so they don't understand. But if the last possible person you thought could be in charge of ethics was in charge of ethics, this goes right along with Trump's crap, what he did with the lady who was in charge of education and never been in the school before.
Yeah,
you know,
but you know what? That's par for the course for ethics, because this is their interpretation of ethics. Exactly. And their interpretation of moral. You know, if you have a moral compass, they say sometimes people don't have a moral compass. Well, you can have a moral compass and it'd be jacked up. Okay. And their moral compass is jacked up, and this is the expression. This is the manifestation of their moral compass being jacked up in Marjorie Taylor Greene and this dude, what's his name, Guest?
Michael Guest.
Michael Guest. Yeah, this is the embodiment of it, and we knew this was coming. With them being in charge of the House, we knew it was coming.
Right. Isn't Jim Jordan on some committee investigating the insurrection that he was part of?
Yes, mostly that's part of it too. I was going to go there because part of what happened is they have put together their own little committee who will be chopping it down and saying, look, everybody that y'all thought should be under the gun, we giving them all a pass. They already know based on who they put in charge of the ethics committee or on the ethics committee. When it comes to voting and all this, there will be no more wrong.
Oh yeah, but this was all what they were voting for. The 15 times that Kevin McCarthy was losing, or the 14 times that he was losing. That's what this is. All the stuff that was being given away. That's why you see all these, and I don't think it's coincidence. All these Trump sycophants seem to be all these people that are on or leading these committees.
And one of the bigger things that they wanted to investigate was the politicizing of committees to investigate certain things, like January 6th, and like Trump. Like they want to investigate the investigations of the shit that we think. It ain't like
they're incriminating.
Yes, it's very incriminating.
That they're
right.
Yeah, like
they have put themselves in a position to try and overthrow any thought of there being actual accountability. That's what they're saying. We're in charge of who gets after school suspension. We're in charge of who gets expelled.
Right.
We're gonna be in charge of all this moving forward. So don't you worry. Hey, what he say? He can kill somebody on Fifth Avenue. Don't be surprised if somebody gets killed on Fifth Avenue. And the ethics committee says, it's okay.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right,
well,
so
we'll
go with that. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the thing is, it is somebody getting killed on Fifth Avenue. The difference is that I'm not even talking about the literal shootings of black men. That thing was happening before them and will continue to happen after them. I mean, literally, they're just murdering options and opportunities and growth all the time. Yeah. And they do it all under the guise of, well, I gotta be a Jesus person because I don't believe in abortion. And everything else I do is okay because I can ask for forgiveness. And under that, you can't fight against them with that because it's like, oh well, I'm for the church.
Yeah. Taking the Lord's name in vain. It's weird because we think taking the Lord's name in vain means saying goddamn, and it has nothing to do with that. Right. Taking the Lord's name in vain is completely different. But we'll get it on the show. KG, are there any articles, any issues, any topics, any trends, anything that's going on that stood out to you that you think that we might cover on the show?
So Ohio's education department is investigating a white supremacist homeschooling network that shares Nazi-related resources. I know that's a mouthful, but let's be clear. I know that's a mouthful, but let's be clear. The same people who shot down the non-existent education of black folks and about all students about true black history are the same ones who are saying, hey, but you doing it at home? Go ahead and teach them about neo-Nazi lifestyle and living. That's a full course. Go ahead and do that.
But you know what? When the pandemic first started, I don't know if y'all remember. This is a while ago. These were shows ago. I spoke on the potential uptick in homeschooling, right? Because I was like, if you don't like the vaccine, if you don't like your kids getting tested, if you don't like that, then you had to homeschool them. And I see homeschool networks getting bigger, but that went under the radar. And now with something like this, it's like, okay, these are some of the people who chose to actually go into homeschooling, but what are they like? People are retreating into their caves, and this is one example of it. So I'm
This is an example where they say this is free speech and a part of European history, and this should be natural for that's what our country was based on. That watch, that's what's going they're going to say.
What was the what was the thing? What was the quote about Martin Luther King? I know you put the article in the
so let me see here. Where's the quote? In January, as Martin Luther King Jr. Day approached, a user with the screen name Mrs. Saxon, such as Anglo-Saxon, posted in the channel, "It is up to us to ensure our children know him for the deceitful, dishonest, riot-inciting Negro he actually was." I mean, I won't read the rest of the quote because we can.
Okay, we're gonna get into it.
But
okay.
All right, what else happened?
Hold on. I want to clarify something. Well, no, I'm not gonna clarify it. I'll wait till the show. But
okay.
Yeah, but let's just see how this goes in a swing state, Ohio, that has often produced who the president's going to be.
That's fact.
It's interesting to see how that's going to go.
That's fact. And ramifications going forward. Like,
the thing that got my attention when I read it is I thought, isn't that odd? Kanye made a comment. Man, they can't stop talking about it. Now you know they're teaching this to children, and somebody else. That's free speech. And in America, I can teach my child what I want to teach. And then when they say you got 3,000 people in this homeschooling network, who are participating in this Nazi rhetoric.
Neo-Nazi.
It's like, hold on, man. ABC, Fox, CBS, TMZ, Harvey, we all at.
Imagine if they had a homeschool network that was teaching, and this is the thing. So we know that CRT actually isn't a course, it's not a class, it's an academic framework. We know that. Our listeners know that. But imagine if there was actually a homeschool network that was teaching CRT as a class.
Thank you.
It was called the Black Panthers, and the FBI took them out.
Boy,
So I just want to say.
Oh, you better spit. Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if they were teaching.
No,
they were simply reiterating
where
you came from.
No,
that wasn't a history class.
No,
they had
classes.
Bro.
They had actual classes. Yes, they had a curriculum and everything. Yes, they had classes. The Panthers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they might have called it CRT.
No, but meaning you couldn't get online to do it from your home. You had to go. You had to be there. So you were an actual.
I mean, it was private education that should have been covered under free speech. That was not because of who it was. It was considered martial.
So are we making the argument for them to be able to do so?
Huh?
So are we making the argument for them to be able to do so, or are we making the argument that it's a problem?
No, the problem is not that you can't teach your kid in homeschooling whatever you want to teach them. That's fine. The problem is the accreditation that you allow that to transfer over to public schools and to colleges.
It's not going to be
nothing to do with the fact you can't.
Remember, if it was, it's not at a public university. That's the whole thing. If it's not at a public school or public university, they're going to say that's private.
You can see they found the loophole in which this fits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the ramifications of it as well, because even if you have the right to free speech, or you have the right to say whatever it is you want to say when you're doing this type of homeschool, there are ramifications. So our job is to enlighten the listeners that this type of rhetoric is going on, because a lot of the times this shit will go under the radar. We won't know, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, these motherfuckers are Ohio going crazy. Like what? No, we've been telling y'all this is what they're teaching them in Ohio. This is where we need to be focusing on resources. This is why this is going on, but we don't know. We can't let this fly in the radar. This is something that we have to actually we have to inform people about. It's not about whether they can do it or not, because it's free speech. You can talk about what you want to talk about, but rhetoric like this gets people hurt, and it gets people killed. Yeah.
Well, they're allowing. This is a loophole to spread acting like it's the combatant of CRT, and the truth is that's how y'all feel. That's how y'all always felt. And I wanted to also co-sign KG's the story with the Jason Whitlock story of him trying to take the Memphis shooting and then go on in this rampage about single black mothers, and that's why black men act this way. Not even getting all the details to the story. He's willing to share his ideology. Once again, something Fox would love to show: black men saying anything negative towards other black folks,
man,
and then acting like, well, everyone black who doesn't embrace it, we're just, all we do is we only co-sign things that are, we want to co-sign to make us look good in a positive light. And he's just being honest when the truth is he just hates himself.
And I know where he got that information from and what he twisted. So there are statistics to go with a part of what he was talking about. The problem is he left off everything else about it, and it had nothing to do with an actual shooting that went on. Which we now know way more about.
And he don't know which officers have came homes or single homes.
Yeah, at all.
2-parent homes, single home.
So the topic and the issue that I wanted to bring up was the update from the Tyrese Nichols shooting. I wanted to talk about that. The background information that we've done, investigation that people have done about where Mr. Nichols worked, about where other people worked, about the response of the EMTs, about the ramifications of them responding improperly and what happened to them, additional officers that got some kind of consequence, even if it is, we
like I said,
we can't apply the video. We can't apply in our society. We cannot apply the proper consequence, but a consequence has been applied to them. So just the update of the shooting. I don't know if I want to get into what hasn't been vetted. There are a lot of innuendo, a lot of uncited information that's being floated around. I don't know if I want to get into that.
Let me say this. Both you and I were born to lawyer fathers. There's a beautiful word called allegedly. That don't mean we can't let that shit fly.
Without a doubt.
I get you. Yeah. We'll do that. We'll make sure we focus on what we know to be cited and to be factual, and then we'll, we may get into some other stuff that allegedly happened that makes complete and utter common sense to me. So yeah. Shout out to JR. He's not here. Miss him.
Jay Titter.
Yeah. So those are the topics that we may or may not be going over. We don't know yet. If you have any kind of an opinion, any kind of a deference to any of the things that we've talked about that you feel like you may want us to go over, hit us up, info@udkpodcast.com, info@udkpodcast.com. Let us know, weigh in. And we will see y'all on Tuesday. We'll see each other on Friday. Can't wait for my brothers on Friday, man. Love seeing y'all. But y'all will be hearing us on Tuesday for the finished product. So peace, love, stay safe, and we'll see y'all.
Hey, I don't ever quote this man, but Future said, "It's an evil world, y'all."
Yeah, I'm glad that's the quote that you used because a lot of stuff that you could have used.
That's right. I didn't know what you were about to say.
I know what you about to say. All right, peace.
UDK.